This is the story of Rahim. He was born in a quiet village on the outskirts of Garissa in northern Kenya, a dry land where the wind carried more dust than opportunity. His father was a herder, a proud man who walked miles to find water for their goats, and his mother spent most days grinding maize by hand. Life had always been hard, but Rahim's childhood was peaceful until the drought came. By the time Rahim turned 17, their livestock were gone. The land cracked open like broken clay, and famine forced the family to move to a refugee camp near Dadaab. The camp was crowded with people who had nothing left. Tents stitched together with tarp and rope, dusty paths filled with barefoot children, and endless waiting lines for food. Rahim had no papers, no money, no formal education past primary school. But he had one thing, a curious mind. Every time he heard people talking about online jobs, his ears would perk up. But how could someone like him, who barely knew how to type, even begin? He didn't have a laptop. He didn't have a stable power supply. His only device was his phone. A budget model bought years ago by his uncle in Nairobi before they lost contact. It wasn't fancy and the battery didn't last long, but it became his window to the world. Most days, Rahim would charge it using a shared solar station at the edge of the camp. That alone could take hours of waiting. But he waited. He used it to read, to learn, to hope. One afternoon, while waiting near the water tap, Rahim met Amina. She was 2 years older, sharp-tongued, and always wearing a bright yellow scarf that made her stand out. Amina had been living in the camp longer, and she had a way of seeing possibility where others only saw survival. They got talking about dreams, what they would do if they had a choice. Amina said she was trying to earn online, designing posters for people using an app called Canva. She showed Ram some of her work, simple designs, colorful, made entirely from her phone. Rahim was stunned. "You made this on your phone?" he asked. She nodded. "You don't need much to start," she said. "You need data, time, and willpower." That night, Rahim couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about what she said. He downloaded Canva, watched tutorials offline, and tried to make his first graphic. It looked terrible. The font was too big, the colors clashed, but it was something. It was a beginning. In the mornings, Rahim would fetch water for his mother. In the afternoons, he helped the elders collect firewood. But every night, under the weak glow of a borrowed lantern or just moonlight, he worked. He didn't tell anyone yet. It felt fragile, like a dream that could vanish if spoken too soon. Amina gave him her old notes, things she had learned about freelancing. She introduced him to a platform called Fiverr. "It's hard," she warned. "People don't trust you if you have no reviews. But don't quit. I've made $5 before, that's 700 shillings here." Rahim signed up. He didn't know what to call himself, so he chose Rahim Designs. He used a free profile picture app to make himself look more professional. He typed his first gig, "I will design your logo for $5. He waited. Nothing came. Not for days. Then he tweaked the gig. He watched more videos, changed his thumbnail, still nothing. But Rahim was not the same boy who arrived at the camp. He had tasted a seed of hope, and that made all the difference. Rahim kept showing up. Each day he waited in line to charge his phone. Each night he opened Canva and tried something new. A quote design, a fake brand logo, a birthday flyer for no one in particular. It became routine. He didn't know if he was improving, but he was moving. That mattered. One day, Amina caught him sketching a layout with a stick in the dirt near the path to the food station. "You're serious about this," she said, crouching beside him. He nodded. I want to be someone who can do something." Amina gave a soft laugh. "You already are." It was Amina who helped him fix the little things he couldn't see. His Fiverr profile had no real bio, no sample images, and his grammar, while understandable, felt stiff. People aren't just buying designs, she said. They're buying trust. You have to sound human. They worked side by side for a few evenings. Amina brought a scrap notebook with her notes from a freelancer WhatsApp group she once joined. She handed him a list. Keep your gig title clear. Show examples, even fake ones. Say what you'll do in the first sentence. Keep your replies fast and kind. Don't give up if they ghost you. With her help, he rewrote his main gig. I will create simple, clean logos and social media graphics using Canva. Then they wrote a short bio. I'm Rahim, a beginner designer with a passion for visuals that speak clearly. I use Canva to help businesses and content creators bring their ideas to life. He added fake brand samples. Sunrise Grocers, Desert Reads Podcast, Happy Feet Shoes. Each one was imagined, but crafted with care. I don't even know if anyone will take me seriously, Rahim whispered one night. You don't need everyone, Amina said. You just need one. And then came the message. It was early, barely light outside. Rahim had woken to check if he had been logged out again when he saw it. Hi, I saw your logo gig. Can you help me design something for my online cooking page? He couldn't breathe. His hands trembled. He read it again and again. He rushed to Amina. It happened, he said, holding out his phone like it was made of gold. Amina grinned. Well, don't just stare at it. Reply. They sat together, writing the first message back. Rahim kept it polite, humble, and helpful. Thank you for reaching out. I'd love to design something for you. What name should be on the logo? Do you have any colors you like? The client, someone named Maria from Nairobi, replied with kindness. She didn't ask for a portfolio. She didn't question his accent. She just wanted help. They agreed on $5. It was Rahim's first order. He spent nearly 8 hours making it. Not because it was complicated, but because he cared. He checked and rechecked the fonts. He exported in multiple sizes. He created color variations even though she didn't ask. And when he delivered it, he wrote, I really hope you like this. Thank you for trusting me. An hour later, the response came. This is lovely. Thank you, Rahim. I'll come back for more. He stared at that message for a long time. Not just because it meant money, but because someone had chosen him. He told his mother that night. I made 700 shillings online, he said quietly. She didn't fully understand what Fiverr was, but when he told her it came from his phone, her eyes softened. You always were a clever boy, she said, just needed a door. Rahim stared at the ceiling of their tent that night, the stars faintly visible through the patched fabric. The $5 wasn't in his hands yet. It would take days to clear, but it was there, real. He didn't celebrate, not loudly, but deep in his chest something steady and quiet bloomed, not hope that had come before. This was belief. The second order didn't come right away. After Maria, there was silence again. For a whole week, Rahim checked his Fiverr inbox every morning like a ritual, hoping, refreshing, hoping again. Nothing. The doubt crept back in. What if that first client was just luck? But belief has a strange way of holding on, even when results don't come. And Rahim had changed. He wasn't just waiting anymore, he was working. He went back into Canva and redesigned his own gig images. He started following more tutorial channels on YouTube, design basics, color theory, client communication. Sometimes the videos took forever to buffer on the weak connection, but he waited. Bit by bit, he absorbed. Then came another message. A local business from Mombasa wanted a logo for a fruit stand. They paid $7. Then someone from Tanzania, then another from the UK. The orders were small, $5, $10, $15, but they were real, and they were growing. He began saving every dollar. After 3 months, he had enough to buy a better power bank, no more rushing to the solar station twice a day. Then, with more gigs, he bought mobile data packages instead of borrowing Amina's hotspot. His world, once limited to tent walls and food lines, was slowly expanding through pixels and persistence. One night as he walked past the women grinding maize, he overheard someone say, "That's the boy who works on the internet." They weren't laughing. They were curious. Soon, boys his age started asking questions. "Can you show me how you made your gig? Is Canva hard? Can I try too?" Rahim didn't have all the answers, but he shared what he knew. He invited them to sit near the charging area and take turns using his phone to practice. One borrowed it to try designing his cousin's wedding invitation. Another used it to make a poster for a second-hand shoe seller in the camp. He and Amina started holding informal sessions under a neem tree on Sundays. They called it Sunday Skills. No one paid. No one advertised. But every week, more showed up. Young people hungry not just for food, but for something possible. By his 6th month on Fiverr, Rahim had served over 30 clients. His rating was 5 stars. He had repeat customers. And one evening, Fiverr itself sent him a message. "You've been selected as a rising talent." He didn't understand what it meant at first, but when he saw the badge on his profile and orders began to double, he knew. He cried quietly that night, away from his mother, away from Amina, just him and the stars above a torn roof. He was no longer invisible. Eventually he bought a second phone, nothing flashy, just newer. He gave his old one to Amina. She had stopped designing for a while after a hotspot broke, but Rahim insisted. "This is yours too," he said. "You open the door." And the story didn't end there. With enough savings, Rahim signed up for an online design certificate through a global scholarship program. He got his first client from Canada, $40. Then someone from Dubai wanted 4 Instagram templates. He built a simple Google Docs guide titled "How to Start Freelancing from a Phone" and started sharing it with new friends in the camp. His world had transformed, but more importantly, he had transformed. Rahim, the boy from Garissa with no papers, no laptop, and only a phone, was now a freelancer, a mentor, a quiet leader of a silent movement rising from the dust. And when people asked him what changed everything, he would smile and say, "My phone didn't build my future, my will did. The phone just made it possible." And that's the story of Rahim. From a crowded refugee camp with nothing but a phone and a little hope, to building a future through skill, faith, and pure perseverance. He didn't wait for the perfect tools or perfect timing. He started with what he had and changed everything. Now he's not just earning, he's inspiring, he's leading. He's proof that transformation is possible, one small step at a time.